Good day, YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the day's video on YouTube. I haven't done one of those backyard garden tour videos of late. Of course, yes, we've got lots and lots of dry weeds and dry looking bushes and shrubs that might need to be taken out because obviously they can be a bit of a haphazardous feature, I think. But anyways, I've just decorated my Christmas tree nicely so far. I actually decorated it around Christmas Eve. So at least that was actually very good of me doing it just before Christmas. Today is Boxing Day. It's basically the day after Christmas. There were some squirrels early on here feasting on food, most likely from birds. And it looks like that these squirrels have decided to munch and gnaw out some of the seeds. Luckily enough, it is a cold and dry start to the day. Apparently there's been a bit of chaos so far. Unfortunately, I can't get through towards this side here. So that means I'm going to do a U-turn and actually avoid the nasty looking... Well, there's another bird feeder here that's just taken a dive. I'm pretty sure that there is a metal one. There is a plastic case version here. I'm trying to find which bird feeders are there or not. And there's some actual Christmas decorations that have fallen down to the ground. Oh man, it's very tough going through all of the nasty shrubs, bushes and weeds that I've just planted during spring or summer of last year. So I need to gouge really deep. Bit of a rough start to the video, eh? But anyways, as I'm moving very precariously, you can see how the squirrels have gnawed out some of the seeds that they were just trying to forage. Now, this is of course a lantern bird feeder, and this is of course, yes, hey, more exclusive for birds, and I'm getting prickled by lots and lots of thorns and shrubs, which is not the nicest experience to see. Hey, look at that, look at all the seeds. I'm going to highly shake all of this out. Look at this. Those goddamn squirrels have started a raid right over my bird feeders. I don't know what's going on with me, but I think I'm in a totally dangerous spot. A Christmas decoration has fallen, and I think I need a straightforward escape out of here carefully, because there's just so much nasty bits of shrubbery and bushery trying to prickle and hurt me. Okay, I'm finally out of here. As you can see, we've got lots and lots of bird feeders. I think these shrubs need to be trimmed out with a scissors. I think I can do that in another video's time, but I just don't have it somehow. I could have just done it during spring of this year, or some. Obviously I can. I'm just going to put this bauble back to where it was. Yes. Okay, so let me just go back to what I was actually thinking of. Okay, we are nearly coming up close towards January now of 2026, so it's basically next year, isn't it? And of course, it's, hey, I can't believe this. Even though I'm in the late part of December, there's a lot of frost on the roof. Surprisingly, I'm actually still seeing signs of autumn, which is just chronically strange. You know, I'm actually seeing a massive entree of it being left, and I'm actually getting, let's just say, caught out by one of those dead plants. And actually, if you look at all of these weird pipes of white, that is a lot of nasturtiums. And I'm pretty sure the more I look, you can see that some of my nasturtiums have actually started to die out. I mean, look at the leaves, man. They were once very beautiful, round and green. Now they've actually become very dried out, and look at that. In a very short period of time, they've just gone into this weird looking, dark, soldier-like coloured green, which is just not the nicest part, but can be useful as something else. You can either use it as fertilizer or whatnot. These dried leaves look very, very good. I could have ate those just before they went like that, but hey, that's just what it is. I just left it as an ornamental piece of planting for the bees to come along and pollinate. And there's also this here, which I'll probably presume it might have came from a cosmos, but I might be totally wrong here. Actually, going by the looks of it, it actually is a cosmos. And if you look closely, these bits here used to be very Well, look at this. That there used to be the stem and the leaves of a flower, which is part of this plant here, which is actually quite stunning to see. And also look how many roots there are. You can definitely count how many roots there are right over at this plant. So go ahead and straightforward study about how many roots does this thing have. I really love to know. There's basically hundreds, if not thousands, of root networks on that Cosmos plant going around. Actually, we've got a lot of zinnias. I'm actually fairly impressed of what I've just seen so far, but I don't think that's the right amount of seeds. Okay, so who knows? I might try and think of a way to... Oh, it's very impressive seeing this amount of zinnias that are inside here. I wonder if there's any seeds inside here. Okay, let me just scrumptious this placement here. Now, I don't think I can see any seeds in that seed head, which is a bit of a shame. Yes, I do collect seed heads just in case to plant the next flowers for the next spring, which is a bit of a challenge considering, hey, if one of the plants have failed to grow, let me just go back to my tool shed and I'll show you some of the plants that I do keep. Like, here it is. This is my zinnia seed lot, and actually if I try and scrumptious this apart, we're getting some very good seeds in this one here. I've also got a big collection of nasturtiums. I think what I should have done was to actually put these away into a much drier and cool spot. It's interesting, isn't it? Okay, let's see how the zinnias are getting on. Are they looking very dry? No, they're actually still very wet. I'll probably have to go back to the supermarkets next year just to plant more of these zinnias. Them seeds are looking they look way too soft. So I'm going to have to probably plant some more of these. I'm going to have to probably think about buying more of these, along with more nasturtiums. But I do have a big batch of nasturtiums. And actually, there is something fairly surprising that I've actually right upstairs in my bedroom, which is something that I haven't really been talked about. But first off, I want to straightforward have a look at this whole backyard garden again first. There, of course, was once lots of nasturtiums, lots of zinnias, lots and lots of everything. You know, cosmoses, the failed tomato plants, and we've got a bird, which I presume is a female house sparrow. There's a lot of these birds everywhere around my neighbourhood. I'm pretty sure it's a female house sparrow, because how would I not even know? You know, it's surprising. I'm actually living in an area where house sparrows are actually quite common, even though we have seen a massive population crash over the many years or so, which has been really sad, since house sparrows in our country have been doing a little bit terrible because of persecution from like cats, or should I just say predation from cats and other animals like larger birds. We don't have any snakes. Well, actually, we do have the adders, the smooth snakes, and the grass snakes, but we don't have that many snakes. Not that big lizards. If I was in Malaysia, I'll be able to see big, giant, let's just say big-sized monitor lizards. You know, probably roughly half the size of a dragon. That would be really interesting to see that. Yeah, we only have large birds of prey. We only have birds of prey and cats, which are the main culprits. You know, sparrowhawks, buzzards. They'll come along and eat those things. Kestrels, peregrine falcons. They'll just basically wreak havoc towards the house sparrow populations that we have. Yeah, hence their name. They really do settle in very, very well through hedgerows and things. That lovely, big, thick-looking hedgerows. Perfect for hedgehogs as well. Mind you, have been doing elsewhere around the world, which they have actually been introduced. And there's another dead, what I probably presume is this zinnia. Let me just pull this one out. Love examining the roots that are underneath every single plant. These plants have survived. Those ones they have survived. And it's funny. Hey, look at the whole meadow. I'm pretty sure it might straightforward come back in spring. You know, I'm sort of thinking, hey, after planting this meadow during the rest of this spring and summer, and as they've died down during autumn and look like this during winter, mind you, the big question is, will they ever come back ever again during spring? Mind you, that's my big gut feeling. Do the seeds get self-seeded? Like, do the flowers actually do self-seed after let's just say, I don't know, 1 or 2 generations or more. You know, it's interesting. Spring and summer, they will spawn more generations after their flowering period. You know, what's even more quite strange is that, hey, if I look closely, I can't even see a single nasturtium seed on the ground. You know, it's funny, hey, they will self-seed over time, but I'm pretty sure most of the seeds are plucked out. They're looking okay. And if I look underneath here, I'm not actually seeing any signs that there's actually quite a few of these. Somehow they've actually remained, to me, they look totally unscathed. The dry, cold weather has actually made them, I think they look fairly nice. I forgot to actually split these ones right here, the green ones like that. And it's, closely, there might be even more. Like, look at this here. Over this overgrowth of nasturtiums, I'm not actually seeing that much. Clearly, this is a big reminder on how this cycle seems to change. If I'm looking vertically, like here as well too, there's none right here. As you can see, just how much time I've spent growing these plants. It's massive somehow. I feel like this backyard garden needs a very good trim out at that time. You know, I feel like I want to try and do this during the next spring, you know, which will be really awesome to go for. But in the meantime, with the yapping dog in the background, I'm going to show you something that I actually wasn't going to cover in a previous video. So yes, I've got this here. I've actually got this second batch of nasturtiums, which I might pack up in another time. Let me go upstairs and show you some of the things that, hey, are we going to be there or not going to be there. Okay, I'm finally back in the warm house here. This is my usual studio where I tend to make videos and whatnot. And actually inside here lies something particularly interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to have a look closely. And inside is a whole bunch of scrap, which is totally not the sort of place you want to know about what actually lies inside. I do have lots and lots of nasturtium seeds. Unfortunately, when I stored this amount of seeds here, most, if not all of them, have actually started to sprout out. So this is not looking good. I might have to probably buy an electric propagating tray to do just that, because hey, look at the way the nasturtiums. I think I've actually did the wrong thing. So I'm actually starting to see nasturtium seedlings that have started to germinate a month or so earlier than usual. So I don't know what's going on here. Is it because of the environment that I placed in? I feel like I've just been hit so badly. Somehow the environment I've just placed in, that's not really good to know. Strangely enough, I'm still having trouble to find the calendula seedlings. The calendula seeds. Oh wait, hang up. One more thing. If I look very carefully and gouge through this giant pile of scrap that's inside this vault, look at this. Look where I found it. I actually collected this during late November. These are calendula seeds. I found this at an already, let's just say, sought after railway station flower box. And look what they actually provided. Some very awesome looking calendula seedlings. Like, look at that. I've actually found lots and lots of calendula seeds. I'm actually going to leave it up until spring, which would be fairly awesome. I think the best time to plant these will be around springtime. If not February, March. I'd say February will be a very interesting month from next year. I don't know how long is it going to get till, you know, yet let alone I'll try and, hey, think about growing these next year, which is actually quite fascinating to prepare. You know, wintertime is a very dormant season to grow plants because, hey, the lack of flowers, the lack of the sun's energy, and, hey, the lack of everything just makes it oh so boring. But, hey, I've actually collected a decent amount of calendula seedlings, some of which they've actually been falling out of this container here. There wasn't a very valid amount of time to get that amount of storage. Some of the seeds do look big, but whether they're nicely sort of dried up really depends on how much time I've actually have kept them so far. I need to go and get more of this stuff like this to keep them all nicely dry and that sort of stuff without the presence of moisture inside of, let's just say, an envelope or you know, basically just anything else. It's somehow what it is. Hey, I feel like I need to learn the process even more about how to collect seedlings and how to collect seeds and how to actually dry them up before you can use them during spring. And tell you what, look at the amount of calendula seeds. And actually, if you look at the calendula seeds, they're basically just dried up petals of the flowers that they come with. But nevertheless, hey, that's actually a very good thing because, hey, after flowering, that's what they will look like. They'll just disperse out all of these hard, crispy looking seeds. Well, of course, yes, they're just dead petals. Nice one, isn't it? And very clever to know. Of course, yes, hey, look at all the nasturtium seedlings. I'll tell you what, hey, they've hardly started to germinate really fast. Hey, I don't know why. I don't know why, but of course, yes, hey, I could try and basically disperse them and transfer them into a new envelope. Because look at this. Look at the damage that the seeds have caused. Some of which have started to become... Yeah, look how dry these seeds have become. I have to say, hey, look how crumbly they are. I don't know how good or bad they are. Most of which have gone really, really crumbly. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be that nice. Somehow, I suppose so, once we get in towards spring. I don't know how dry they should be. I think probably the best time to... yeah, they've gone a bit soft as well. Which I'll probably assume that's not going to be a very good sign for these nasturtiums, because if you make them too soft and too dry, well, they're not going to flower, they're not going to germinate really easily. I doubt so. Maybe I can just straightforward put these away into, well, let's just say a separate container, and hey, who knows? Harvesting nasturtiums is a really difficult and challenging thing to muster. And even though, hey, I can try and wrangle out some of the other nasturtiums from another packaging and see how they're going to do or not. It's all going to take time. Somehow, I'll just have to think about that. Well, might as well just straightforward tidy up this bloody mess. And there's another envelope here, but I'm just too lazy doing that because I've got a lot of stuff to do. And there you go, I've actually just closed it up right now. So I'm just going to leave this video here. I hope you've really enjoyed in this gardening tour so far of late. And luckily enough, I did show you the calendula seeds. They were all plucked out from Tyseley railway station, which is a fantastic train spotting area to see some trains. And hey, I feel really, really great and glad of how much I've just spent my time making the most of my backyard garden. Okay, that's it. If you really enjoyed in this video, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe more for flat videos in the future. Boy, I've got a ton of mess to clean up. As always, thank you so much for watching and bye for now.